pastimes. And Govardhan was nourishing, providing everything that they needed, from grass to the cows. There was waterfalls of water, trees, everything was there. So that's why the pastime of Govardhan Leela has a very, very significant importance, because this is where a lot of the pastimes happen. For example, you would see in Vrindavan there are many, many other pastimes, right? But this specific one, this Govardhan Leela, is when Krishna lifts the Govardhan hill, is very significant. So sometimes what happens when we join, let's say, Krishna consciousness, or when you come to you start practicing, sometimes what happens that it's easy, or you feel very enthusiastic to perform devotional service. In the beginning, you like to hear lecture, listen kirtan, and attend arti. But sometimes what happens with time, slowly, things start. You start to, that same eagerness starts to go down. Why? Because initially, when you go to a mall and there's a sale, right? Initially, that sale will attract you, right? You will go and buy. But afterwards, when it becomes familiar, there's an endeavor that needs to happen. Like, you have to go. Like, if you know that there's a sale, there's something more that needs to happen. Similarly, in spiritual, as when you're performing devotional service, afterwards there's an endeavor that needs to be happening. Like you have to put the effort. So else what happens, that that same eagerness that we had, it starts to decrease. But when we pray to Giriraj, he gives us that ananda, that bliss, that satisfaction that we have, and that eagerness to perform devotional service. It keeps going up and up and doesn't go down. So that's why it is very important that we pray to Giriraj. There are many devotees that pray to Giriraj every day. So, because what happens, it gives us that energy that boosts us to, when we are going low, it will boost us to keep going up again. Why is it important? Like in the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, any of you, like how many of you know about Srimad Bhagavatam? That's Srimad Bhagavatam, where there are all the pastimes of Lord Krishna is there. There are about 18,000 verses, or 335 chapters. Out of that, Canto 10, which is the most dear, and there's all those pastimes, including Govardhan Leela, has about 90 chapters. And in those 90 chapters, about 40 chapters talk about Vraja Leela. So which means the Leela that happened in Vrajadham. And out of those 40, 4 chapters are related to Govardhan Leela. So as you can see, it's like the cream of the cream. In those 18,000, there's if you go and look at some of the most important pastimes, you'll see that Govardhan Leela is there. So if anybody wants to read further, you can go in Canto 10, chapter 24 to 27. Govardhan was not always here on this material, on planet Earth. Govardhan originally was in the spiritual world. So all the objects and all the paraphernalia, everything that's in the spiritual world, they have they're personalized, meaning all the objects are trying to serve Lord Krishna in the spiritual world. So again, Giriraj, it existed before in the spiritual world, but for some reason, Lord Indra didn't like the fact that they were, a little bit too much for them. Like the Govardhan Hill, for those who might have read about it, they had all the mountains had wings, flying. Like I said, if you look at a bell, which we do arti with, you will see there's a figure on it. I don't know if anybody has noticed. It's like there's a Garuda figure on top of it. So every object, even this deer, you would see there's something on it. So every object has some importance, and so the flowers, the birds, everything they're trying to serve Krishna. Similarly, Giri Govardhan, they had wings, they were flying. So Lord Indra didn't like it. They were a little bit too disturbing. So he went and cut their wings because they said they were flying too much and disturbing. So maybe it's a bit too much, but I'm just gonna tell the story anyway. Then Lord Krishna said that Lord Indra has become too proud, and that's why to teach a lesson. He said that in the future there will be this pastime will happen, so that Lord Indra can learn from those. Because many times what happens when we have too much opulence, we tend to become puffed up a bit, right? Even the demigods, they are in the mode of goodness all the time. Like here on all of us, we're most of the time in the mode of passion, and sometimes we're in the mode of goodness, right? Like we come to temple, we're doing spiritual things, but most of the time we are working, we're active. It's all more in the mode of passion. But in the spiritual world, you're most of the time in the most mode of goodness, and sometimes what happens, you tend to go a little bit ashra. You go away from that. You tend to be in the mode of passion. So Lord Krishna, he comes and he teaches, how to get back to our natural form, right? So So now let's talk about Govardhan. When it came on earth, Govardhan was originally in the Himalayas. So it was there. And one time